Hey there, it's Jess Francisco from Love Jess or Love Jess Co. on social media, and I'm super excited to be here with you as part of the Archer and Olive Ambassador team. For this video, I'm sharing how I created a Christmas bucket list in my A5 Archer and Olive notebook, and I'm also including some illustrations or doodles at the end so that you can follow along and create your own doodles if you're feeling brave and you want to try doodling in your journal. While this is a Christmas themed bucket list, don't feel trapped or like you have to do this exact style. You can change little details up to make it fit for any time of the year. So come back and visit this again for your spring or summer bucket lists, or even those fall festival vibe bucket lists. And you can use this same technique or style and just change up the theme. Along that same line of thinking, you could also use elements from this design to incorporate into your normal planner, like using this scroll background here as your individual planner boxes for your daily planning, or you could use it for a vacation packing list. Any of the doodles would be cute in a lot of different spreads. So you can definitely take small elements or large elements and make them work for the planning that you do. Although I do love planning, I am not the best at planning out my spreads in advance. I am what I like to call a fly by the seat of my pants crafter, and I sort of just make things up as I go along. So you'll see that I don't necessarily do things in an order that makes the most sense. And that's usually just because along the way somewhere I had an idea that was sort of like, oh, you know, it would be cool. And then I just decide to add it. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work in my favor, and sometimes I feel like I should have known when to stop and I don't. But you know, it happens to the best of us. In this case, I kind of added some little details as I was going, just a little extra to sort of make it seem more complete to me. So if you notice that things seem kind of out of order, that's probably why. So far on this spread, I have used a couple different acrylographs and calligraphs to add some pops of color and make the spread a little more visually interesting. If you're not into coloring and you prefer a more minimalist look, you can always leave the doodles blank and just have the pen outline, but either style would be super cute. If you do lean into adding pops of color to your doodles and drawings, consider layering another darker color on top of the original color to give them a more dimensional appearance. You can practice with this if you don't want to do it directly in your notebook. You can always do it on some scrap papers and find out which colors go well together and how much extra color you need to add. It is a little bit of a fine balance sometimes, and if you do too much blending, the paper can start to kind of degrade a little bit, but if you get the balance right, it can be really beautiful and add a lot of interest to your spreads. I did go ahead and color in the background off camera. It took a little while to color all of that space, so I didn't include that in the video, but I just used a light colored calligraph, I believe it was peach, and added the color there. I decided that the bucket word needed a little bit something extra because it was sort of blending in once I added that background color. So I took one of my acrylographs and added some sort of drop shadow effect to some of the letters so that it popped off the page a little bit more and stood out a bit against that background. I also didn't like how plain the background looked with everything else so cute in the foreground, so I added some stripes with a light colored marker, and I love that as a finishing touch for the spread. Now we're ready to add our bucket list items and get started on our Christmas bucket list. As promised, there are also some Christmas doodles heading your way right now, and if you are not up for doing your own doodles, head on over to the Archer and Olive blog where I have created a free printable Christmas bucket list for you to download and use in your planner. Feel free to pause this part of the video or slow it down as needed so that you can follow along and make your own doodles, and feel free to come back anytime you need a refresher and watch this video again so that you can see how these doodles come together and use them in your own notebooks. If this video inspired you to get creative or snag any new products, please feel free to use my affiliate code LOVEJess for a discount on your order over on the Archer and Olive website. I'd love to know which of the doodles is your favorite or which one you are most excited to try in your notebook, so please drop a comment down below and let us know. It has been so wonderful to spend some time with you today, and I really hope you like the way that this bucket list turned out. I can't wait to see you in another video really soon.